Today on the Pro-Life Podcast, the Trump administration wants to expand IVF, and Oregon medical researchers are making it all weird. You'll understand in a minute. Let's get started. Happy Thursday, Pro-Life family. Welcome to the table. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee. You brought...
Electrolytes.
Oh.
It's not even, yeah.
That's... Okay. I was going to say, that's a lot of coffee for you, but no.
Yeah.
It's a normal amount of coffee for
Water.
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Not to be confused with Kim's drink.
I was drinking tea earlier, but
It really
But the
looked
color of tea looks...
I'm sorry,
like cup
people.
you had it in, it just looked like something else.
I-
Anyways, sorry. I'm already on a tangent. We haven't even introduced ourselves and getting into the topic, so let's just go around the table.
Kim Schwartz, Director of Media and Communication.
Michaela Vaughn, Director of Education.
Rick Clegg, I'm an IT director. Okay, well, there was a speech by the president not long ago, and he said some things that...
Sad.
Yes.
So,
It's not as bad as it could have been, but it's definitely not as good as it could have been.
definitely. I was just saying that we've had a couple of good news episodes in a row, so you're due for some bad news, people.
Boy, it's going to turn into one of those why is the world kind of crazy
Right.
episodes, I think.
But okay, so we're talking about Trump's new IVF policy, and I will tease here. There is a bit of a silver lining, and we're going to get to that, okay?
Okay.
So
Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Right.
I read the article.
Yeah. All right. Last week, President Trump announced from the White House that they're going to try to expand IVF. They're doing this through two ways. Number one is encouraging or allowing companies to offer IVF under their insurance plans, kind of like you would opt into dental or vision. You can opt into fertility, and that would include IVF. Second way is by reducing the cost of a specific drug that's used in IVF. This drug is called EMD Serono, and that is designed to help the woman release more eggs, which we've talked about IVF before. One of the ways, or the main way, that they do IVF is by stimulating the woman's ovaries, taking a ton of eggs at one time, which is very painful, very difficult, and then fertilizing a whole bunch of embryos so that way they can have the best odds for implanting a child. And if that child is carried to term, then great. But if there's a miscarriage, because people pursuing IVF generally have fertility problems, then they have all these other embryos on hand that they can try to implant the next one and the next one. That would be like if they implant one child at a time. More often.
They don't ever do that.
Yeah. Occasionally. There's always the unicorn.
Okay. That's true.
But most of the time, it's like they'll implant like 4 or 5, and then they're banking that some will be lost naturally through miscarriage. And then if they don't, then they do selective reduction, which means abortion, and they abort whichever child that it looks like would be the least likely to survive. Or they pick all these other characteristics to screen for children with IVF, conceived through IVF.
Right.
Yeah, I think the story really shows how countercultural it is to be pro-life, because you have the Democrats who want abortion on demand without apology, and then the Republican Party, wants to promulgate this fertility treatment that kills.
Yeah.
And freezes indefinitely millions of unborn children. And so to be pro-life, we really are not represented. And when President Trump was asked by someone how he would respond to pro-lifers who maybe would critique his position, he appeared as if he hadn't even considered that before, because this is the most pro-life policy there could be. It's pro-baby. He wants more babies to be born. It's like, we do want more babies to be born, but we also don't want to kill more babies.
Exactly.
And I think it's this misunderstanding of how the IVF process actually dehumanizes the unborn. Mm-hmm. And again, I think we have to have this clarifier in every one of our episodes about IVF. Any child created and born through IVF, good, beautiful, such a precious gift from God. But at the same time, so are all of the children who are frozen indefinitely or terminated.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's the eugenic side of it too with IVF, that the reason why this child was implanted but not these other 10 is because, these might have a disability, or this one looks like he might have brown eyes. This one's a boy and this one's a girl. So you really get to just cherry pick what kind of child you want.
Well, also in Paris Hilton
Yeah.
example, I saw this online. And again, I think this is old news, but I saw online that Paris Hilton, she went through IVF and she wanted a girl. And so she created many embryos. They found out they were boys. And so she had, I don't know the exact number, but anyway, from
was
10,
something like
20,
20, I
10,
think.
20
Yeah.
plus boy embryos frozen indefinitely until she got to the girl embryo. And so, that raises these ethical questions of, well, are the boy embryos less valuable than the girl? Well, by actions,
Yeah.
in this story, absolutely yes. But we have to ask ourselves as a society, are we okay with this? Are we okay
No.
by
but-
prioritizing a sex over another sex, or brown over blue eyes?
Yeah.
So it's scary. I think the implications we haven't discussed, they aren't reflected in our laws, in our discrimination laws. And so, yeah, very unfortunate.
Absolutely. So there's the danger of IVF being expanded because of this federal push. But there are a couple of good characteristics of the Trump administration's policy here. And I use good characteristics pretty lightly. Basically, I'm saying that it's less bad than what it could have been. Whenever I knew that the Trump administration was going to pursue a policy on expanding IVF, I think a lot of us expected it to come out kind of like Obamacare with the contraception mandate, and just said, like, you have to provide contraception. It doesn't matter what your personal convictions are. And the Trump administration's policy is not like that, thank goodness. It's completely optional for companies. If they want to provide fertility under their insurance, they can, but they're not forcing businesses to do that. There's wide protections for people who have religious convictions or other moral convictions against providing IVF. So that's good. That is, again, not as bad as it could have been. I was really expecting something like Obamacare, where it's like, you have to do this, too bad.
Yeah, and on that, the companies have the option to choose what type of fertility treatment that's included. So, unfortunately, the most popular one in our society is IVF, but there are companies who have conservative pro-life values who could choose restorative reproductive health.
Yes.
And so that's getting at the root issue, not artificially creating life, but addressing whatever might be causing infertility, whether or not that's hormones or diet, nutrition. There's different surgeries, restorative surgeries that can be done to cure the root cause in the couple. And so that's good. That will also be included under these plans. But it does leave the morality up to the company. And so there's also still room for immoral options.
Yeah, I think that what you just described is the biggest silver lining there, because we have this avenue for restorative reproductive medicine. And I hope that that will be, like, get the wheels turning for a lot of employers to say, like, actually, yes, we do believe that family is a good thing, that children are gifts from God. And so we want our employees to be able to grow their family without having to worry if they're struggling with infertility. And that there is this route with restorative reproductive medicine that is more ethical and actually more effective too in like gestating a child to term instead of IVF. I think a lot of people rightly characterize it as a Band-Aid approach. That's just like, okay, you can't have a baby. Well, let's just put a baby here and you will have a baby. It's like, okay, technically, yes, that is what just happened. But if the reason why you can't conceive naturally isn't being addressed, then you're probably just going to be doing like the same thing over and over. And it's very difficult on the parents, especially suffering so many miscarriages. So IVF just has tons of problems all around. I hope that this approach will open the door more for restorative reproductive medicine than IVF. but obviously, like, blanket statement headlines are all about IVF because that's what Trump is billing it as. And so, yeah, that's the situation we have here.
Well, and people don't tend to do the thing like that's going to require their health to improve.
Yes.
They go, easy button.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See,
Not that it's actually easy, but in their heads, it's like, oh, blanket solution.
Right. Yes.
Do that.
Exactly. You're right. And you know what? I love an easy button as much as anybody else, but I know that this is not the right direction.
I just want a moral easy button.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Can we have one that's like ethical, please?
Right. Exactly. You were talking about an author who struggled with infertility and said, like, I would, if my faith allowed it, I would have chosen IVF. It was very, like, tempting.
Yeah, after Trump's speech, this Catholic author I follow, and I'm on her email list, Emily Simpson Chapman, included some of her commentary on the speech in her weekly email, and I thought it was very moving. She shared that she is one of the many Americans who faces infertility, and if it weren't for her faith, she wishes that she could have had children biologically, and now that has 3 adopted children and she's on the other side of that journey, she can see the beauty that came from her suffering. And she says that if anyone would have told her beauty was going to come out of this suffering while she was in the midst of the struggle, she would have spat in their face. Well, not really. She would have wanted to, though.
Yeah.
And she's such a funny writer. But if she would have pursued IVF and had children through that route, she would have missed out on the 3 beautiful children that she has now through adoption. Yeah. And that to her now is heartbreaking. And so while she had this intense cross to carry and suffering, she sees that God was calling her to be the mother of these 3 children who biologically are not hers, but she is still their mother.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of lessons we can learn through our struggles and through infertility, whether or not that's patience and getting to the root cause of and learning about the woman's body, like what you're talking about through restorative medicine, or if it's that there are other children in the world that we're called to love.
But what if we didn't need restorative medicine or eggs from IVF?
Oh, dear.
I'm going to make it weird, guys. It's going to get really weird after this break. Do you have a cell phone? Do you have pro-life values? Do you like saving money? Well, Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they've partnered with Texas Right to Life. So if you'll go to patriotmobile.com/Texas Right to Life or call 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT, and use the checkout code TRTL, they'll give you a free month of service. So make the switch today. Have your money support causes you believe in and save and get a whole free month. Make the switch right now. What are you doing still watching this? Make the switch right now.
Want to support a cause you love and look great doing it? Visit the Texas Right to Life online store. You'll find t-shirts, hats, mugs, bags, everything you need to rep the pro-life movement wherever you go. Plus, you'll get free shipping on every order. Listeners like you, yes, you, can get 15% off when you use code PODCAST at checkout. Visit store.texasrighttolife.com today to shop with purpose and make a difference.
Hey, welcome back, friends. I promise to make it weird. My Instagram feed is very strange, and it led me to stumble upon this, that scientists at the Oregon Health and Science University have used human skin cells to create eggs capable of fertilization, and actually that headline is a little bit old as of recently. They have completed fertilization, made something like 80 embryos, and like 9 of them were theoretically viable or something, but all of them were ethically disposed of.
Oh, yes.
But
ethically killing children.
That's
the way to do it.
But then
I prefer to do my murder ethically.
Of course. Can you do that?
Oh dear, that quote won't come back and bite you ever.
It's called sarcasm. Internet knows about sarcasm.
Boy, do they.
Yeah.
So looking for more information on this, I stumbled upon this video from PBS. I will show you guys, and you can we can all react together.
When kids of the future ask their parents how they were made, the response could go something like this. Well, when two people love each other very much, they bring a tiny sample of their skin cells to a lab, turn those cells into sperm and eggs, then put them together to make a special baby, which turned into you. That's a very basic explanation of a very real technique called in vitro gametogenesis, or IVG. Scientists have already successfully done this procedure in mice, and humans are next.
I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, that's it.
Because this video is 2 years old.
Oh,
So
That's not good.
That's, they did it in mice 2 years ago. Now we've successfully done a human version of this. We didn't implant the embryo. We ethically destroyed them. Whatever that means. And so their justification for this is women who don't have eggs.
Yeah.
They're infertile or they have crossed an age
Yeah.
of having any more eggs. Or same-sex couples who can't conceive,
Yes.
whose challenge is biology.
Yes.
So instead of doing things as God designed,
Right.
we have scraped some skin and made another person. How do you think the feminists are going to feel about this, that they're like removed from the system now? Like women have been removed from this pregnancy. I mean, other than then there's artificial womb thing at some
Yeah.
point. So maybe all this coincides and we don't need...
Right. You do need a woman at some point to
I can
carry this child.
The feminists today are going to celebrate because the entire feminist movement today is how can women become more like men?
Yeah.
Our society teaches women, and the feminists teach women, we have to deny our fertility, deny the fact that we even have eggs, that we can even create life, instead of seeing that as something unique and amazing. And this might be a little too much philosophy, so maybe we cut this, but I'm going to go into it.
Nah, go for it.
This is going to create so much damage in the tension that already exists between men and women. It's been around forever. We have it. Things have gotten a lot better than they used to be.
Yep.
But today, men and women, there's strong tensions.
Right.
There's a lot of situations in which women feel unsafe and they're violated. There's also a lot of systems in the modern world that, like the school systems that are created for girls, not boys. And so we live in a society where we don't really know how to reconcile our gender. And being able to create life with only one gender, without male and female, I think gets to the root of, the human dignity and the imago Dei being made in the image of God. So before Christianity and this idea that both women and men are image bearers, Aristotle got a lot of stuff right. He also got a lot of stuff wrong, including this idea, the reason that a woman is lesser than a man. This is not me. This is Aristotle. Women, just because this is the internet, women are a deformed version of men. And part of this view comes from this idea that they used to think life was created, the man provided the form of human life, and the woman was the nurturer. The woman was an incubator. And so the form of what it means to be human is 100% from the man, and the woman provided the matter. And so the soul only comes from the man. Women were seen as a lesser version of man, because man could create life, women can't. And in this scenario today, with this in vitro and IVG,
it was
with IVG, you don't need women to create men. And so I think we're getting to the point now we're almost backtracking with this understanding of philosophy. Whereas today, when we actually know the beauty and the science of creation, we know that it's the man and the woman who are both image bearers, who both have rational souls, and the form of the human person is a combination and then also a unique, distinct soul that's created.
This is like almost on the level of I'm waiting for somebody to be like, bro, you know what? You got a cold? You got ghost in your blood, and we need to get some leeches. Like, what? Well, it makes about as much sense, right? Like, what? Why are we? No, they've said why they're doing this. So same-sex couples and women who don't have any eggs.
Well, and also to get back into the practical world, you said earlier, I think it was 82 human embryos have been created through this process.
Right.
9 were viable.
Something like that.
Viable to be implanted, but they didn't implant it, and they ethically disposed of them all.
I don't know
My
if I'm-
question,
Yeah. Why?
even among those 9, what sort of health problems will those children have? Is it right for that child to be created with this process?
Yeah.
What are they owed? They're owed health and safety.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing because you mentioned cloning. This is super similar
It's
to
very similar.
Yeah. And with cloning, they discovered with their clones of like Dolly the sheep, if anybody's old enough to know that it basically clones can only live about half as long as the original donor.
Right.
And so I think we're going to see a lot of these problems that we see with offspring of clones, where these children might not live full lives because just the nature of the conception. But the second thing, too, is we know that children conceived in IVF also tend to have more health problems than children conceived naturally. Again, this does not diminish their value as children of God, like they're equal to any one of us. But we also have to consider the well-being of the child. If you know that this process of conception will put your child at a disadvantage, you should definitely think twice about pursuing that. And so there's so many more questions that should arise with this IVG process. Are they going to have the same problems that we've seen in other children conceived by artificial means?
Or worse.
Or worse.
We have no idea.
Yeah.
Like that was there was an actual normal biological material used in the creation of this.
Well, and the only way to answer your question about what will the health outcomes be for children created through IVG, we won't know until we try. So then we're using these very lives as experiments.
Yeah.
I've heard bad things about human experimentation without consent.
Yeah. Now, I know we've talked about this being used in one circumstance, could be used for same-sex couples, to men wanting to create a child. Well, at this point, I don't remember seeing in any articles that we figured out a way for either of these male parents to
Carry the
child.
Yeah,
so then, actually, there still is a woman, but kind of going back to what Aristotle thought, I believe this woman truly is only providing the environment. And I think surrogacy is physically very difficult for the woman. The whole implantation process is.
And how many videos have we done here about weird surrogacy stories gone horribly, horribly wrong?
More than you would like to see.
Yeah, guys, and I'm afraid we're just going to see more weird stuff like this. It's a little bit of a tangent. There was another podcast I saw where they were discussing that over the next 10 years, we'll likely see 100 years of technological advancement because the tools for the R&D are so much better. If you look at, it's 2025. Day of recording, it's 2025 still. Okay. In 1925, the idea of using skin in a lab to make another human would have been insane. Mm-hmm. However, as of the last few weeks, science has achieved, not us in this room, but science has achieved such things. So let's use AI for our R&D, and now we're seeing about 10 years or so leap every couple of years. That's how the technology works. It doubles every couple of years. So we're going to see maybe 100 years of technological advancement in the next 10. Humanity's not ready for that.
No.
We don't know what to do with social media right now.
Yeah.
And that's been around for about 15 years, and it's ruined our sleep schedule and our social interactions. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what's true anymore. Mm-hmm. Everybody fights about everything. So that's been so great for us.
Yes.
It's you're watching this on a social media platform. Thanks for watching.
I mean, we've made this point though that like tools generally are neither good or bad. It depends on how you use them. This, I think we can clearly say, is a bad tool created. Like that involves sin, but something that so a lot of tools depends on how you use it. Social media, internet, like really awesome tools. Like, you can become more convicted in your beliefs. There are people who have converted to Christianity because of what they see on the internet. There are people who destroy their lives on the internet as well.
Also very true.
Destroy other people's lives on the internet.
Looking at you, Roblox.
Yeah. So every tool depends on the hand that's wielding it, if it's good or bad. And so we have to be a moral people, a moral society, before we're actually like, hey, let's just get all these tools and see what happens. Like, probably not good things.
Nope. Technology has advanced ridiculously in the last 100 years and will ridiculously in the next 5 or 10. Humanity, on the other hand, is still doing the same knucklehead stuff they've been doing since the beginning.
We're having a hard time.
We are. Yeah. We are. Y'all need Jesus.
Don't we all?
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I have 2 theories / comments on the idea that now with like these artificially produced eggs, I guess 3. So number 1, I don't think you even need 2 people to make a baby. Like, we discovered, we were saying same-sex couples. So if it's like a man and his skin cells can become an egg, and a man has the sperm as well, he can be a single parent.
And you already mentioned cloning. That sounds like cloning.
That also sounds like the problems you would see with like incest, you know?
Kind of. This is really getting
Okay, so I mean, on
Sorry,
that
but
topic,
is it wrong?
You know, one of the reasons that incest is morally wrong is because a child produced through incest, they're owed their generations, their ancestors. A child is owed a mother and a father. Granted, we know there's tragedies in the world, and this isn't always the case.
But
A grandfather and a grandmother, aunts and uncles. And so, for a child, if in this scenario you're presenting, a child doesn't have a mother and a father. A child just has a mother.
Just a father?
Or right, just a father.
oh boy.
Yeah. Let's not.
Let's not do this.
Right.
Please.
Okay. My next theory or guess.
Can't we just go back to normal, like, let's bring back dinosaurs or something? Like, that feels more normal.
I saw Jurassic Park for the first time. It's a scary movie.
It only took it 30 years.
It did. Okay, so my next prediction or just like hypothetical scenario, we had a podcast episode a couple years ago about using brain dead women as surrogates.
Yeah.
I can completely see this going the route of like, you don't even need a woman who's like actively consenting to be a surrogate.
I kind of forgot about that episode. Maybe I just blocked it out.
That was one of my favorite episodes.
Oh.
I'm disgusted. I was not around for that.
Yeah.
And it was what? A year or 2 ago, we talked about using stem cells to create an embryo. We did that's been done by science.
Yeah.
We ethically destroyed them all as well. What are we doing?
Yes. So then my last question with my 2 like crazy predictions.
There's more. Oh boy.
This is not a prediction. This is a question. For the pro-choice people who accuse pro-life people of saying like, you just want women to be incubators. Are they going to speak out about this? Will they condemn it or praise it?
Ooh.
Because this very directly causes women to be incubators. We're against that categorically, okay? So
I don't think there's a person at this table or in our office that is like, this sounds like a great idea.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna test your pro-life apologetics.
Let's hear it.
Let's pretend I'm the pro-choice person and you brought that up. What if I say it all comes down to consent? What if it's okay if the woman consents to be the surrogate, to be the incubator?
Would it be moral if a person consented to like slavery based on race? Like if somebody had a low view of themselves and said like, yes, I think racism is fine, and so I will go and work without pay and just voluntarily like place myself in this situation. Do you think that would be moral? Do you think that perpetuates racism, or because they consented it's fine and it's not actually racism?
I think that's a good argument because I do think we live in a world where, like, as long as there are adults who are consenting, as long as there's consent, like, that's somehow our, like, level of morality.
Yeah.
But you're right. There can be consent to immoral things, making it a wrong action.
Right.
If the action itself is bad.
Yeah.
Good answer, because if you just said, yeah, that's fine, we'd have to cancel you.
If I'm not already. I've been on here for a little bit.
Yeah. What would you say to that person? As the pro-choice person, I'm saying, as long as they consent, like, that's fine if a woman wants to be an incubator if she consents.
We can't use consent as the ultimate standard on what is or is not right.
Why?
I mean, you can't go down the rabbit hole if a 6-year-old wants to consent to change their gender because they act like that's okay too. Like,
Yeah.
the problem with that argument and arguing with people, and they're not operating from a place of rationality or logic.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you could make the argument too, or the parallel to suicide. Somebody who chooses to take their own life is choosing that, but is that really a free choice? Or usually with suicide, it's something that people are suffering with mental illness, and so it's not actually a free choice.
Well, but then there's the pro-assisted suicide camp that think
Exactly.
it's perfectly fine and it's death with dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I think the topic of coercion is important in this conversation in particular because when we're talking about surrogacy, it's like, well, as long as a surrogate consents. Actually, there are a lot of the places where ads for surrogates are targeted. It's college students. So someone who is low income or they don't have a lot of money just because they're in college, that's not a free decision that they're making, but it's based on their circumstances and they may feel as if they have no other choice.
Yeah, it's taking advantage of a person's situation.
And then oftentimes the negative side effects of surrogacy and the implantation process are not fully disclosed to the woman. And so I think we have to first go off of what you said. Consent is not a moral standard, but then also question whether or not it's true consent.
Yeah, definitely. I think at the heart of all of these life issues that we've just talked about, like just within the last 2 minutes, there's this idea, like you said, that consent is the only moral standard. It's the highest moral standard. But I think we need people to question, like, is there a moral standard above yourself? Or are you, like, really the sole arbiter of what's right and wrong? And a lot of people do think that, which is difficult. But
Right. And that's how we get with the society that we have. If
Right.
humanistic morality says consent is the absolute, then yeah, there is no real standard and it's just whatever. That's obviously worked out so well for our country for the last, 20, 30, 50, 100 years.
every time it's been tried, it works perfectly.
It's like communism.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
there you go.
Another question I have, just curiosity. If we only need skin, how much skin? Like, can I scratch you with my fingernail and get enough skin?
Ooh.
Like,
Oh, that's scary.
isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah, like
you
you
could have
can
some
create
creepy
people.
stalker guy at the bar who just scratches you good. Now he's
Yeah.
carrying a child of yours.
Honestly, there are people crazy enough who will do that.
Weirder things have been. Well, maybe not weirder things have been done.
Way up there.
Weird adjacent things have been done.
Uh-huh.
So, this is gonna open a terrible Pandora's box.
Right.
Do we feel like this might be a replacement for IVF in that, like, there's not all this really awful drugs you've got to take that are painful and difficult?
Right.
Now it's like we take a couple skin samples and we do our thing.
I think it depends on which one is cheaper. Like, I'm not doing any price shopping here for IVG or IVF. But I think, like, IVG would definitely be less invasive because, like we said with IVF, like, you have to harvest a lot of eggs from the woman. And if you're, like, a couple that doesn't have any eggs for one reason or another, then you have to go get an egg donor and a surrogate and all these other things. So if it's like, okay, well, either two men or maybe a heterosexual couple, but it's just way less invasive, like, oh, use my skin cells instead of eggs, then you don't have to go harvest them. So if that's cheaper and easier, I can see it becoming the more popular option. If it's way more expensive, I hope we don't see growth there. But I can't put that past anybody.
And at this point, we don't know how "quote unquote" successful IVG is going to be. I mean, it's going to be the other factor.
That's
because
true.
Honestly, at this point, because we've been doing IVF for so long, it's
More
it's
successful.
pretty-
Yeah.
More successful
Yes.
than not.
yes, it's I think it's about 60%
Yeah.
of embryos created through IVF will result in a live birth. 60%. And the numbers I know it's early stages, but IVG isn't there yet, so
Yeah.
we don't know.
early
What
stages,
is IVG? Hopefully, IVG is going to get to a point where if we just decide, this isn't worth it,
That'd be great.
I hope so. I mean, right
that would be
now
good.
they're at what 10% ish of the ones they created were potentially viable. So,
But they didn't make it to the birth.
or it is
so we
in
don't
birth stage. You might have had maybe one
Yeah.
out of all of those. Just statistically speaking, if it's as relatively as effective as IVF, I don't like this world.
Nope.
Oh, Jesus, come back quick. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we've already been hinting at is the problem with this is that it's our society trying to destroy the family,
Oh yeah.
destroying the mother and the father, and it affects the children, and you should go home and just love your family.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell your parents thank you, and your siblings. Give them a hug.
Your mom watches this. Tell her thank you.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, we know how difficult it is on single parents. Just that in the world with kids who are conceived normally. Now, how are we going to explain this nonsense? And I don't care how cute a children's book you make out of that as PBS. Like, what? That's the long-term psychological effect. Oh my gosh. Okay, can we just stop this?
Okay.
Moving on.
Yep. Yep.
Oh
Trying to
my
give us a positive note
gosh.
about to love your family.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
someone else.
sorry, you were right. You were right. Love your family. Go hug your family, whoever, your mom, your siblings, your spouse, your children, please, because oh my gosh, the system that God made makes so much more sense.
Yep. A
It just
decent amount.
does. The further we get from the original design, the weirder everything gets. So let's just talk on it. Do what God said, please.
Good advice.
Please,
Amen.
please. My gosh. Oh my. Well, friends. Oh, I'm sorry. It's really weird. I'm not even sure how to land it from there.
I told you were due for bad news. You got it.
Kim was right.
But
we had a couple
have-
likes of good news.
we have the ultimate good news still. He's still around. He's still working. So hang on to that.
Truth. Okay, friends, like, share, subscribe, all those things the influencers tell you to do. Links below. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, God bless you. I know this has been a weird ride. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.